everybody. It's Gail from Gail's Bookish Things. Here are two little unboxings I wanted to share with you today for our next Vlogtober. I recently saw South Shore paper talking about this Moleskine chapter collection. Let's see if I can cut this open without cutting myself or ruining the book. I never know the trick of opening these things. Probably an X-Acto knife would be a little bit better than a sharp blade like that, but I just grabbed something real quick from my kitchen. I usually have a scissors right in front of me in my craft area, but I don't know where it went. So let's see what we can figure out together. This is new to me. I'm always kind of looking for a slight variation or book besides the standard TN insert that you might buy from Amazon or something, just to mix it up a little bit. I really liked working in my Moleskine expanded, let's see, it was like the 300 or something or more pages. That was a really good experience using that, and I thought I would try this chapters collection, and it says it's for daily use. It's the dotted one, and it's set up in 7 chapter sections. So it's quite different from the expanded, but I was very happy with that, and I thought I would try another style of their journals. It says here on the back label that, like I mentioned, they're organized into 7 chapters, the sections. The last pages are detachable, and there's to-do lists, and opens perfectly flat. So when I saw that, I was very intrigued. I looked up a little bit about this on Amazon and thought that it would be worth a try. So with just a little, I mean, obviously that pops up a little bit, but just like that, and then it's really nice and flat. Now I understand that the Moleskine paper is not real great for fountain pens. If any of you have thought on that, please comment below. I find that my Noodler's Heart of Darkness works well on lots of papers, and I believe that it was designed to be in every kind of paper ink, so I'll probably primarily use something like that. Otherwise, I guess it's, may feather a little bit, or just you miss out maybe some, I think, on the sheen or shading qualities or shimmer qualities when you don't have a paper that's good for that, good for fountain pens. So this is bound like this, doesn't have a thick cover over it. So I guess maybe the idea is too that you could accumulate several of these and maybe it's not as bulky. I'm not sure what got on there, but it's, you know what, I do know what that is. I'm working on another faux leather journal cover and I just got ink on there. But that's okay, it won't really show, it doesn't really matter. I like this size though, I like how it looks. And you might be asking, okay, what are you going to do with another notebook? I think that I'm going to use it as a more artsy type journal. So just like I did with my previous Moleskine expanded, I wanted to do in this. And that other one I did messed around with watercolor or just sketching or doodling or trying line drawing, just kind of whatever I felt like doing when I had a few minutes, and I just felt like being craftsy but not necessarily producing something to show for the time. It was just a place to be creative, I guess. I feel like I have narrowed down my journaling pretty well. I've consolidated it somewhat. I don't feel like I'm going in quite as many directions. That feels really good. But what I don't think I want to do is have a journal where I maybe go on and on about some disappointment or heartache or some really special joyful thing. And then on the next page have a picture of Halloween pumpkins that I'm drawing. It's too mixed up. I like things a little more defined, but I don't like 30 books for 30 different things, because then there's too much breaking it apart, and then it feels too cumbersome to journal. So that's a constant battle for me. There's got to be, well, maybe there isn't a fine line. Maybe it's just kind of going with the flow, but generally speaking, having journals for specific purposes. That's probably the balance that I need. So anyway, I thought with this, I would use it in my, what I have now designated as my reading notebook. I've mentioned before, I'm part of a book club, and we meet, I don't know, probably a little bit less frequently now. Everybody's pretty busy, but about every 6 weeks. We're still meeting. So I do a little book review here. I may end up, I don't have it in here now. I thought I had an extra traveler's notebook. Kind of elaborating some on the books. Another really great idea. Well, okay, let me say this. Before I get on to my next point, I have these journals in here that rarely get used. This one is for planning our monthly extended family meals, and the summer, I call it Camp Grandtastic, that I do with some of my grandkids that live in town. I designated this traveler's notebook for that, and I really haven't needed it, because what ends up happening is, if we're going to have our big meal gathering, we'll just say, okay, we're doing potatoes, everybody bring a topping for a potato, or having pasta, bring this or that. So I haven't really needed to spell it out and plan it so specifically as I thought I might at the beginning. I had an Easter meal. I had, the months kind of designated and what we were going to do. It really doesn't need that much planning, so it doesn't need space in a notebook. And if I'm following the way some of you are thinking, that's why you were liking, say, the rings setup in journaling, because if you had a section for planning a family get-together, and you don't need it after all, you can just rip that out and it's gone. Whereas I have this thing, super suppers we called them, because we started out doing soups. Now I have this book that's partially used, and so it's kind of a waste. And, to blend in writing about my latest book club read, or another book I want to maybe take some notes on, it just doesn't make sense to stick it in here. So this is kind of wasted space. However, I can use it this summer when I plan the camp with the kids, assuming we do that again this year. So what I'm going to do with this is just put it in that big green, or what used to be green, traveler's notebook that I've shown you. It was by Leather Planners Plus. It's super hefty spine. It's like about a 2 or 3 inch spine. Let's see. Not that it matters. But, well, it's not 3 inches. It's about a 2 inch reinforced spine, and it can hold a lot of traveler's notebooks. So this is going to move there. So next spring, summer, when I need to plan camp, I can just get this out again and keep it on my counter and not waste the space, the pages. But it doesn't need to be easily accessible now, because it's October. We're going into the winter months, and thinking about that camp is on a back burner for me. I pin stuff, and have it designated for camp, but I don't need to have something I'm sketching down on a daily basis. So, all that to say, the same thing for this. I'm taking out these 2 traveler's notebook insert. Now I have my wonderful Start Bay notebook, which I have talked to you about before. I love the feel of this. Just super smooth, and I wonder if this was a little bit more what the original traveler's notebook was like. I don't know, because I don't have one of the older versions. Another whole topic, and I think we've talked about that already. I don't know what that original cover was exactly like. I've only seen more weathered versions, but I do love the feel of this. It's just such a basic notebook. It's almost like shellacked or something in here. I don't know what that is in the leather world, but it's a very nice feeling to me. It's just a super smooth, basic, minimalist notebook. This was the Start Bay notebook, and I'm getting off on a tangent, but I love it. And I just sniffed it because it smells good. I always have to smell my leather. Oh, brother. Okay, better than smelling like something else, right? So what I thought I would do is have this TN cover now house like the book club stuff, which is something I can kind of do semi regularly. It doesn't need to be put away for half of a year. I do use it more often than that. Plus, I really want to just keep holding this and handling it and letting it develop its personality, because I loved that kind of used nicked dings and dents. But I want them to happen like more naturally. I don't want to just go out to the garage and pound it with a hammer. I just want it to kind of come out on its own through use. And I do want to use this. I love it. I'm glad I purchased it, but I feel sad that it's been kind of delegated to, you know, kind of the back of the line. So it's going to come forward now, and it's going to house my Moleskine chapters notebook. And I'm just going to try this out and see how I like it. But I think I'll find it kind of satisfying to have a notebook that will fill up more quickly than the expanded. And again, here I have it right here. I'll just pop it out here and show you. I loved using this. This is looks like Cahier, but I think the French pronunciation is Cahier. Anyway, this was a really nice book to work through. Towards the end, I've talked about this before, you can see there's 10 or 20 pages or so that I just didn't end up using. I just kind of wore out from it. I was eager to get into something else after doing this for so long. There was nothing wrong with it, but I just got restless. Maybe that's a good way of putting it. I'll put that back. I tend to like variety and mixing things up, or I get, maybe not, I don't know if bored's the right word, but I just like trying new journaling things, I suppose. So anyway, book club, and then I think what this will be then is my artistic journal. So like I was trying to say before, and I keep talking in circles and going off on a rabbit trail, I will use this in that same sort of creative way as the Moleskine. So a little bit of drawing, maybe a little bit of just playing around with watercolors or markers or something. You know, I don't know. I know it's not the best paper for all those, but it's just purely for the fun of being expressive on paper without making a work of art. Just more of a doodling, having fun type thing, maybe practicing some hand lettering. That's kind of my thought for this Moleskine chapters book. The other thing I wanted to mention that I started to say and then remembered I was saying something else was South Shore Paper. I've enjoyed watching her videos, and she does a lot of reading and does book reports and features lots of I guess novels or historical fiction or whatever that her club does, her group of readers. And she makes more of it looked like almost like kind of a scrapbooky, like a junk journal, but not junk journal, but like a scrapbook, or more of an illustrated book club book review. So there's something new, something you might like trying, and I have talked way too long about that because I have something else I want to show you. So I like to watch Hello Jilski. She does a lot of wonderful Bible journaling, and so the other day I went to watch one of her videos. I don't watch as regularly as I like, but I always go back to her because I I love how she just talks about what she's learned, talks about a truth, and she's just very conversational about it, and the whole time she's doing art. But here, I'll keep this hidden. She did a, well, I was going to watch a video, and I'm like, okay, I'm not going to buy a book. I'm not going to buy a book, because she'll refer to some books she's read, and she's Bible journaling something from a book or a thought from a book into her Traveler's Notebook journal or something. And twice I've bought the books that she's talked about, and they've been very good, actually. But I thought, I can't keep doing that because I'm still in the process of reading those books. So I don't want to buy more things until I finish up what I'm done, what I need to get done with reading. Anyway, so I sent her a message or commented on her last video and said, well, I determined not to buy a book, but I did end up buying an ink after watching her video. And the funny thing is, what drew me to it was the name. So it's this Dina, or is it Dinah Wakely, gloss spray, glossy acrylic spray, and the color is cheddar. And, well, for one, I love cheese, and I really am not supposed to eat dairy. But cheddar, I mean, that name just was like, okay, you had me with the cheese name, you know. So anyway, I thought, okay, I'll try it. And she wasn't even pushing anything. She was just showing what she used. But because it had a name like cheddar, well, it's not just because it's cheddar that I bought it. That caught my attention for sure, but I figured it would be a color that I would really like. And it is. It's kind of that, what you would think of cheddar cheese looking like, kind of a yellowy orange or orangey yellow. So I thought it might be fun. I'll grab my Bible, journaling Bible here, and we'll just test it out. But it says it's an opaque acrylic spray that dries to a glossy finish. Spray into media journals, onto chipboard shapes, media board, and other porous surfaces. Gloss sprays are water-soluble when wet, permanent when dry. Shake well before use. Clean spray nozzle after use. And don't get it in my eyes. Keep out of the reach of children. And it looks like that's about it. Pretty straightforward. That's the kind of thing I need. So I'm going to, without dropping 10,000 things, hopefully. I really do have a lot of chaos going on here. I just need a bigger desk. That's my conclusion. I thought we could just add a little color to a page that could use a little bit more pizzazz to what I've done. I don't know that this really has any orange, so this one could take some orange, couldn't it? It's got a deep golden yellow. I have a little orange flame, so I think we could try this. I don't know that it says how far away to hold the ink, but let me see if I can get this. There we go. All right, I'm just going to test it off to the side a minute on some paper towel so I don't totally botch things up. Oh yeah, okay. That's how it looks on the paper towel. You know what? I have here somewhere in the chaos, yes. I have a little bit of parchment paper I've been using to put down on my board when I've been working on the faux leather journal thing. So let's just stick that under there and let's do this. We're just going to squirt some little splatter type things on there. If I can get it to come out. Okay, I don't like that I got it on the deer. Poor guy, he got it in his eye. There we go. But I like that. So that just adds, you know, one more level of dimension or detail to a page. That came out really easily. It's really watery. It's very thin. So I got this on Amazon. I just looked up Dina Wakely cheddar spray or something like that. in it, it was there. So if you're interested in trying out something like that, that seems like that would be fun. A little less messy than splattering, for me, than trying to get paint to splatter off of a paintbrush. So I'm kind of messy crafter anyway. Okay, I have rambled on long enough, but I wanted to show you my gloss spray, and I wanted to just, you know, show you what I'm thinking again with my journal setup. I feel like it's always kind of an ongoing thing. We'll wrap this up. We'll see you soon with another Vlogtober. Talk to you then.